God damn, what is that, bro?
Hey guys, my name is Bando. This is Breakfast with Bando. Good morning on Friday the 19th of January. It is about 7:30. Just sitting here ready before I go out to work. And we've got the LVO 2024 preview. So, here we have our incredible titans of charisma, Eddie and Lewis, who are the usual crew here over at Games Workshop when they do their previews. I'm going to skip over that, we're not going to bother watching this. And we'll start with Kill Team. So we have Kill Team Nightmare, which is a Kill Team set between the Night Lords and Dark Eldar Mandrakes. I'll be honest, as a Night Lords fan, I'm not a big fan of this upgrade kit. I mean, it's good for a Chaos Warband. As a Heresy player, there's not much here I can use. I've covered this before. There's bits and pieces I'll be able to use. Bits and pieces I think they're a bit ridiculous, like the Ribcage Chainsword. Some of it looks kind of cool. I like the guy's hooded helmet, but that's about it. So, might pick some bits up. Not a high priority for me. Then onto the Mandrakes. Now the Mandrakes they're an interesting one, because Mandrakes have had kind of two changes. Mandrakes went from being just Dark Eldar stealth specialists to being these weird shadow demon bound creatures of Dark Eldar myth, and it's a different aesthetic to what they were originally, which I actually preferred. They looked a bit like Psychomantis from the original Metal Gear Solid originally. And these guys are very faithful to their what was it? 5th edition, I think they got changed. 5th or 6th edition they got changed over. Might even mean, I don't think it was as early as 4th edition, but it might have been. So that's that rumor engine we'd seen with the weird shaped hand. But you can tell how similar these sculpts are already. Yeah, these are... It's going to be, what, 5 poses? It looks like 5 poses, and that's about it. So, they're okay. They're very similar to the resin models, which is good, I suppose. You know, they are a faithful adaptation or update. I'm just not a big fan. I don't think these translate particularly well. It's very reminiscent of the sculpting technique of one of the, I think, Warcry kits, one of the Dark Elf Warcry kits for the Assassin. The scythe is interesting, but the sculpt looks kind of a bit rough. This almost looks like it was cast in resin anyway. So yeah, I mean, they are what they are, but I'm not hugely impressed, if I'm going to be honest. This piece of terrain looks cool. A bit small, but and kind of a bit bland, that it's just like a walkway. But you know, more terrain is more terrain, so that's always good. That would look good in the middle of a Zone Mortalis tile or something. So yeah, okay. All in all, you know, fairly middle of the pack. It's the new Kill Team, so there we go. Next up, LVO, Nighthaunt and Lumineth Realm Lords engage in elemental battle. So Warcry. I am not a huge fan of the Nighthaunt. I don't know why GW is so kind of heavy on their releases. I get that they're an easy army to paint, but yeah, they seem to just get loads of releases. I mean, they're nice models. This is kind of cool. These guys have got some good aesthetics to them. I don't know. I'm just getting a bit bored of them. I'm not a fan of these. They could make some good conversions. I know that. I mean, that would make a really nice basis for a Dark Mechanicum model. Put some, like, you know, spider legs or something, or loads of cables coming out. That'd be really interesting. The Lumineth Realm Lords are a really weird aesthetic. They're very similar to Rackham of the early 2000s. They're elves. They don't have any of the aesthetics that I liked from the the High Elf era of Warhammer Fantasy, which was, you know, their closest analogue. There's the model from the preview that I thought might have been a Craft World Eldar. It's very similar Craft World Eldar lines to it. All in all, it's an okay kit, but I'm not a big fan of the sculpting. I'm not a big fan of the aesthetic design of these guys. But I can appreciate people who are. So, you know, if you guys want to go into that, that's cool. I think this is the second load for these guys we've had, like the second team for this game. That's kind of cool. That is kind of cool. That's very well painted as well. I like that. So next up, Kroot, new 40k box set. I like Kroot. I've always liked Kroot. Really nice new shaper with loads of, you know, lots of options. It looks really cool. So I think we have 2 shapers. Yeah, 2 shapers in the box set. Good updated models. Good representation of like the original metal model. They look like veterans. They look like older versions of the Kroot. So yeah, all in all, those are really nice models. Sculpting details look good. Painting details look good. Now, the new Kroot Carnival pack, I was really shocked with it a little bit because they're very similar to the originals. And that's just a good thing. That is a really good thing, because I actually think the Kroot pack is not a bad pack as it is. And it took me a while to actually confidently say, oh yeah, these are new models. Because they have matched them so accurately. My only concern is that we're not going to get as many good bits with it, because the old Kroot Carnival pack comes with a lot of extra, you know, bits of meat and hooks and stuff to hang off their belts or off their waist and the gear. But you know, spy glasses and extra weapons and little Kroot doggy things. Good update. Krootoxes, Narlock. Yeah, it's just a Krootox, isn't it? I like that, you know, they've got more heavily armoured. That's kind of cool. Different weapon options. Yeah, these are all really, really good. Nice dynamic poses. I think these are different to the ones we've seen before as well. These look bigger than the other ones that were like silhouetted, I think. I'd have to check again, but I think these are slightly different. There might be more coming. But as a box set, it's probably going to be about £135. Comes with 2 squads of carnivores, a Krootox, whatever those were. Doesn't. No. Okay, I can't find it quickly, but yeah. Okay, so that looks good. And that's going to be about £125, £135 probably. About the same price as the Dark Angel box set that should be up for order tomorrow. Dawnbringers 5, which is the current narrative for AoS. Krethusa works. The Crone Seer heralds the arrival of Dawnbringers 5. Interesting idea for a model, with the idea the Witch Elves, who originally, when AoS dropped, part of the Order faction, and everything was tickety-boo, and for some reason Dark Elves were the good guys. And then they moved the story forward, and Marathi turned up, and everything went to shit. And now they've got someone else, an alternate to Marathi, which is kind of cool. It's a really well sculpted model. The wings are phenomenal on this. The face, it is what it is. I mean, some of these details are a little... I'm not sure if it's just the casting on them. But it's like layer lines. I'm seeing layer lines everywhere. Nice base, cool aesthetic. Good display model. I'm worried about how it's going to stand up to Nox and stuff with some of these longer, thinner parts. But other than that, good model. The pose is good. You know, it's better than it would have been if it had been like that. Interesting storyline for her. And another Dawnbringers box set. I might actually get this one because I want some Dark Riders, which the Warlocks are an alternate build for the Dark Rider kit, and I want some Witch Elves, and this would just be nice to paint up as a standalone mini. So that could be on the docket going forward. Callus and Toll leave the Saviours of Cinderfell. So again, part of the Dawnbringers. We have some more Age of Sigmar miniatures, and these are all just conversion fodder for 40k in my opinion. These guys are going to make some of the greatest Inquisitional henchmen ever. There's a little cat that we saw from the preview, very reminiscent of the ship mistress from Darktide. The aesthetic on the Stormcast is slowly creeping back towards more grimdark, and it's getting better each time they do it. I still don't like the colour scheme, but this is definitely moving kind of back towards classic GW grimdark. But this will be converted into Space Marines in a second. This guy's fantastic, brilliant, Ordo Hereticus Inquisitor. Brilliant henchman, love this model, really well painted, almost looks like non-metallic metal. It's straddling that line between traditional metallic metals and non-metallic metals where you really are struggling to start tell the difference between the two. So that's really cool. Lovely rogue kind of model. These are the sorts of things people pick up to go and play D&D with. I might just sculpt a little mask on there and then give it a sword, and then that would be used as my dark elf assassin. That would work really well. Again, 40k Inquisitor really easily, or a Navigator. So some good models, and they've got a novel coming along with them, which is cool. Zondara's Gravebreakers bring love to the Death Gorge. So we have another undead themed Warcry, or is it Underworlds? Underworlds. Underworlds gang. This strikes me as very similar to one we've already had. There's nothing particularly new here. I'm like, every single model that's popping up here kind of pings me and says, "Oh yeah, we've seen this before." So yeah, this is a bit of a miss. I mean, it's always nice to have more zombies. It's always nice to have more like werewolf type creatures. But yeah, not so great for this one. And the one we've all been waiting for, the Solar Auxilia in plastic. So we've got the Solar Auxilia Battle Group, which is going to be another big box set. 28 miniatures. It's a bit ridiculous that we now think that 28 miniatures warrants some sort of army box, whereas before 28 miniatures would have been almost like one box of models. I don't know. So we've got a new colour scheme for them with the grey and the green, which matches other leaked images we've seen before. A command tertio, command section, with their las rifles or las locks, whatever they are in this. And options, we always like a good option. Nice plastic Volkites are always nice. Really nice head. I actually really like that one. That's got a lot of character to it. They've managed to maintain the aesthetic quite well. It'll be interesting to see some of the more intricate details, like the chain work on the back, in detail. A Dracasan, I called this a while back that it was going to be a Dracasan in here. The Hunter Killers are a bit interesting. They're just very exposed. Wouldn't launch very well, but it's translated to plastic very well, and having them cheaper is always going to be nice. Lovely heavy stubbers, multi-lasers. This is good. This is all good. The Heavy Sentinel, what do they call it? Athean Heavy Sentinel. We kind of knew this was going to come to plastic, or at least a full size at some point, after the LI release, and It's translated pretty well. It's very chunky. It looks a little top heavy. Would probably be a very unstable platform, but it does have options. Always like a good Volkite. Two problems with this. One, I don't like the melter. It's too thin. It's very Dalek-like. And you really wouldn't want to flame it above your cockpit, because flamers don't fire like a ball of fire. They fire streams of liquid. So as soon as that's finished firing, it will dribble. And if you are a gentleman, you will know there is nothing worse than a little bit of dribble when you're finished. And where that barrel is it's just going to spill molten hot Promethean constantly right over his face, effectively. And lastly, a new Lehman Russ, with that new designed front that we pointed out a couple of weeks back in a video. Looks like we get variants, Vanquisher, Conqueror, brilliant, you know. These are aesthetically lovely. Good upgrade to the kit. I'd like to see the sprue for this. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, nice kit. I'm hoping that this Dozer blade is one piece and we're not getting another Kratos situation where we have to build a dozen pieces into a single Dozer blade. Sorry, my throat is still killing me, guys. And we have a special weapons section, Secutari, whatever they're going to call them, cohorts, with Volkite. So these guys will probably also be there with axes and flamers and all that other stuff. They're chunky, I like them, they look great. They're going to look really good in different colour schemes. I'm looking forward to seeing what some people do with these. A second Lehman Russ, the assault tank variant, which has got all the other missing turrets. Again, love me some Volkite. Nice details on the back of the turret. Really, really cool. And then a Malkador. Now, a lot of people have been looking forward to this. Yes, Malkador with its Vanquisher variant. This is going to be a big one. This will be your Spartan-sized kit. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this. There will be more. I don't know how much more we're going to get in plastic for these guys to begin with. I would like to get this set. I may not start a full army of Solar Auxilia, but I would quite like to get this set just because I like to buy the. I like to get my hands on the bigger box sets. I have a militia army as is, so I may just fold them into that. But part of me also wants to paint them bright red. I think bright red would look really cool for a Solar Auxilia army. So yeah, let me know what you think. What were you really impressed with? What were you disappointed by? Did you stay up for this? Was this one that you are just happy enough to just catch up on? Anything you were disappointed that didn't get shown that you thought was going to get shown? There's stuff in everything here I wouldn't mind getting my hands on, but yeah, a solid release, guys. Okay, as always, thank you very much for watching. Putting up with me for about 20 minutes here now. I'm going to try and breathe for the first time in the last 20 minutes, and yeah, don't forget you can always pick up cheap models at Element Games using my code in the description below. And yeah, thank you very much. Alright, have a great day, guys. Bye bye.